All right, so today we are at Flathead Lake Lodge in Montana, finished incorporating the edits to my book. One of the things that I really felt it was important to do. So in the book, first of all, I'm describing his first attempts at riding a horse and his first attempts at archery. Now, I've shot a compound bow before, but I have not ridden a horse before. So today we're gonna ride these horses.
Today we are finishing incorporating our edits into the book. This is the final chapter. Chapter 20. That's what we're doing on the writing today. I will, right now it's about 6:18 in the morning. We got a full day ahead of us in Montana, here for a wedding at Flathead Lake Lodge. And once I am done with this writing portion, I will give you an introduction to what is happening the rest of the day. The very next thing is breakfast trail ride on horses, which is important for the story I'm telling, as Percival has to ride a horse for the first time in the story, and it's what I will be doing today. So I will take you along for that ride. I'm going to finish writing and incorporating these edits, and then my transcript is going to be done, but I will talk more about that later.
All right, so today we are at Flathead Lake Lodge in Montana, finished incorporating the edits to my book. One of the things that I really felt it was important to do. So in the book, first of all, I'm describing his first attempts at riding a horse and his first attempts at archery. Now, I've shot a compound bow before, but I have not ridden a horse before. So today we are gonna hang out with these little friends. We're gonna ride one of these horses. And I am going to put myself in the shoes of Percival riding a horse for the first time. So I'm gonna take you along for the day. We got horseback riding here this morning, and then we are going to do archery in the afternoon. And then the wedding is later today. After the wedding tomorrow, we are staying around Montana, and we're gonna do Glacier National Park for a few days. So that is gonna be the rest of the schedule on this trip, and going to take you guys along for as much as we can. Let's do it. Any last words? Look at this, couple friendies. Hello. This is my boy Drifter. What's yours name? All right, we are out here in archery, doing a 3D course in Montana. We're 3 holes in. I am 5 for 9 shots so far. First target was not great. 0 for 3. Second target, much improved. 3 for 3. Last one, 2 for 3. Kyla back here is a stone cold killer.
8 for 9, baby.
8 for 9. I think she's making that up.
Just I missed one of them.
This is a squad. Look at this little guy. This little
Why did she keep it safe?
yeah. All right, we are now on hole 6. All right, we're on the last hole. Katniss is gonna rip a couple. Inhale, exhale.
You want my last one?
All right, so we were up at 5:15 this morning. Took off from Big Fork around 5:50, 5:55. Got into Glacier around 6:45. You come before 7, you don't have to pay the entry fee. And now we are headed towards Logan Pass. Highline Trail is the name of the trail. It's a bit rainy this morning, so we're hoping that it clears up a little bit. You can tell just from the drive that the views that we're not able to see quite yet would be epic. And now we are driving into some dense fog. It's crazy. But yeah, we're gonna spend the whole day here in Glacier, do as much hiking as we can, stay as dry as we can, eat as many snacks as we can. All right, we are here at Logan Pass. Today, we're going to do Highline Trailhead this way. Another popular one is Hidden Lake, which leads up here. Behind us, we got Clement Mountains, which is that guy. Kind of see it in the background. How can you not walk in the mountains? Just have your imagination fired up, your inner spirit inflamed. Look at the little misty valleys. You know, that's how you get legends about hidden caves and forest monsters and creepy things. 5.2 miles in if you include the walk from the car. Just gonna turn this corner up here, sit down, have a little snack, and then make our way back. But we wanted to see what the view was behind this corner, so we are gonna find out. Look at this guy, just came out of nowhere. About 7.2 in, probably another hour of hiking or so till we get back to the guest center. But very cool. Highline Trail is the name of this one. And we got a little uphill climb. Way back, Logan Pass, 9.47 miles. Gonna take a little break at the Visiteur Center and then go back to the car. It's about a mile back to the car. PB&J is waiting for us. All right, we are back. It's day 2, Avalanche Lake Trail. It's gonna be about 5 miles total. Or 5.9 I think is the total. I have done this before. I did it like 4 or 5 years ago when I came with my family. And it's one of my favorite views of all time. We come out the lake, you're surrounded by this huge mountain. So doing that one today. And in the meantime, walking through these enchanted woods. Definitely some wizards in here we can't see, but one of the things I actually love most about these types of hikes, and now that I've started writing fiction / historical fantasy, is it just, you walk through a place like these woods and you start to think about, create stories in your head. You know, in my instance, this looks a lot like the woods that Percival would walk in his homeland in northwest Wales. You start to think about, like, you know, you see like a little rocky spot that looks kind of like a cave entrance, and you think like, oh, what would live in there? Like maybe some sprites, or maybe some dwarves, or maybe a wizard, or maybe some enchanted old lady. And then you start to, like, I mean, you just walk through these and you're like, okay, this is definitely the type of walk that Tolkien would have gone on when he thought of the Ents, and how just like, imagine if one of these trees just moves. You know, starts to feel real, and the inspiration is everywhere. You start to see, your imagination just starts to go crazy. It's probably one of my favorite things about this season of life of writing historical fiction and fantasy, is the world just becomes a little more enchanted and magical. You start to see the magic everywhere. And I think I've been talking about it with a few different people. And one of my favorite parts of writing in the historical fantasy space now is, I've always been a huge believer that writing is one of the best vehicles for personal development that's out there. It forces you to figure out what you think, why you think it, and And so when I was writing my first 3 books, it was an exercise in doing that in the context of philosophy and mythology and just like life frameworks in general. Why did I believe what I believe? And now writing fiction and fantasy is this exercise in trying to write books that I loved to read as a kid, the books that helped me learn to love to read, and trying to write something like that, something that my 12-year-old self would love to read. And so it's a lot like hanging out with like your inner child, and it's a different aspect of self-development, is cultivating that relationship with your younger self, and you just feel like you reclaim that childlike spirit, and you just learn to see the world like you saw it when you were a kid, with these like magical eyes. So that's been a very special part of the process for me, and it's one of my favorite things now about hiking in places like this. I mean, when we were in Switzerland and Italy, it was the same thing. It's like you see dragons on top of the mountains. You imagine dragons. Good band. And yeah, I mean, it's just the way I like to live my life. I mean, the way I want to live my life. And so it's been a special part of the last year or two. Some of that's probably the introduction of this young lady behind me into my life. She almost trips. Constantly making me smile right on cue. But anyway, that's enough of a rant for this morning. We are gonna enjoy our walk through the woods and make sure we're at the ready for the sight of any bears. Part of it is I'm talking because you're supposed to be loud. If you think bears are around, hey bear, you're supposed to do that kind of thing. So we'll see. Anyway, we'll check in a little bit later once we're closer to Avalanche Lake. Signed off for now. Goodbye. All right, it took us 3 miles in the wrong direction toward Lake McDonald, but we went back. Now we're on our way to Avalanche Lake. I'm back on track. One of my favorite images is sun filtering through forest canopy. There she is. Here's the beach. It's pretty sunny, so I don't know how much we're gonna be able to see from the mountains, but yeah.
When I shine it down, it stays up. It's a nice peanut butter and jelly. Not me. How is it? Yeah, it's very rocky looking. Just like belly flop. Maybe it's deeper over there. That looks like somewhere you'd wade in on that side.